I'm going to start with, I'm going to do a couple of tutorials here. I'm going to show one way of having our sprite kind of move around the screen. So if we're doing a game like maybe Pac-Man, or we're trying to, I'm eventually going to make, I think over the course of this video, a multi-part one where we are going to have our hero kind of move around the screen, and then I'm maybe going to have it chased by bad guys, and we'll do some stuff with that. So let me start with how I could have the character move around the screen. I made my variable already. I made a couple of variables. My first one I made was called hero, which is going to be whatever our protagonist. I made it as a sprite and placed it just at 2, 2, so right in the middle of the screen. Now I want this sprite to be able to move around the screen and control where it goes. The problem is I have a very limited number of buttons to do this with. I have only A, B, A plus B. I have actually a few other ones hidden down here I could use. These are actually buttons that we could use, but I'm not going to choose to use those for now. So, but you know, there's only just this limited number of buttons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this so I'm going to use like A as turn left. I'm going to have B as like turn right, and then A plus B to move forward. So if you remember, when we create a sprite, it has like an automatic direction. Like right now, even though we can't tell it because it's just a single little dot, it's actually facing, well, I guess based on my monitor, it's facing this way. It's facing towards the right of the screen as you look at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my A plus B just to have my hero kind of move forward. So we can just do, of course, it's not going to be a sprite. It needs to be our hero. Move by 1. Okay, so we go to this, hit play, and yeah, I can A plus B. We can see our hero move. I mean, obviously, though, it's only going to move straight. It's not going to be able to move anywhere else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up A, because that's kind of like the left side. I'm going to have that as a way to turn left. So you can do this here, sprite, and I'm going to have the hero turn, actually it's going to be left, so we're facing towards the wall. I guess other direction, facing towards the wall. I want to turn and face upwards, so I'm going to go 90 degrees to the, well, in this case I think I need to go left. I think my reverse camera is messing me up here a little bit. Left by 90. And let's just see how that works. So A plus B moves forward, moves forward. When we hit A, it's not going to appear that there's anything different happening here, but now when I hit forward, it's going to go in that same direction. Oh, now we're stuck against the wall. We can hit A again, and now we're facing in a new direction. Okay, or yeah, so that'd be a good way for a hero to kind of be able to move forward. I can turn left. Remember, we can duplicate this, and we can turn right by 90 degrees. And now our hero can kind of move around the screen. They can turn left, they can turn right, they can move forward. Let's see. Forward, forward, we'll turn right, move, turn right, move. There's a lot of things you could do in here. Like if you want them to turn right and move right one, I could do something like this. Like I'm going to duplicate this. And now when I run this code, let's see, I go straight, and then I hit that A button. It's going to turn left and then go 90 degrees. It's going to turn left by 90 degrees and then go forward 1. So it's going to kind of move my character maybe kind of in a circle like that. I don't know. Just it depends on kind of how you want your game to play. But this could be for sure an option. Okay, so I'll kind of cut the video there. But also, well, you can stop the video watching the video right there. I'm also going to do a I have my hero kind of moving around the screen. Now I want to have a villain that's going to chase after my hero, and I'm going to show how we could program for the for our villain to kind of chase after our hero. So if you want to listen to that, keep watching. If you don't, then kind of, yeah, see you later. Okay, so in this video, we've kind of already set up the movement of the hero. If you haven't watched that part of the video, go back to the beginning. You can watch that. Hero forward, we can turn them left, turn them right, all that kind of stuff. So what we want to do here is to have a villain chase after us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a villain. So I need to make a sprite. So I'll duplicate this. It's just a quick way to, so I don't have to go into the tools here and find it. And I'm going to set this hero called villain. So I want to make sure I have my names clear, so it's not quite so. It can be confusing if I don't have good naming here. All right, so let's go into here, and we'll have our okay. So our villain's down there. You know what though? To distinguish between the two, I am going to have the hero. I'm going to set the villain's I'm going to go into the villain, and I'm going to set, I can set their X and I can set their Y. I can also set their brightness. So I might make, so I can make like, this is a value between 0 and like 250. So if I do about 120, it'll be like half bright. Let's take a look. Yeah, so you can see it's a little bit dimmer, and that way I can tell which one's the hero and which one's the bad guy. I could also do something like, maybe I could set it to blink. And we can kind of mess around with the blink here. It's blinking super fast. So we could do like 20. Let's see if that's how that's going to change it. Is it faster? I thought it would be slower. Let's see. It's going to be super fast. Kind of super fast. So yeah, you can mess around with that. And like, the whole point of that is just now I know which one is my hero, because I can't change their colors. I can just have one hero is that color, and one hero is solid, and one hero is this kind of blinking thing. And now, okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to have my villain, whenever my hero moves, I want my villain to follow after the hero. Okay, so I need to be able to move my sprite. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to set a forever loop here. And I need to do something about moving my, I'm not going to do move, there's a lot of different ways I can do it. I'm going to do like change X and change Y here. And so what I'm going to look for is, I need to do like an if statement. And what I want to do is compare the X value of my villain with the X value of the hero. And that's going to tell me like, okay, should I move to the right? Should I move to the left? If my hero is further to the right of my villain, okay, then I should move the villain to the right. If the hero is further to the left, then I should move them to the left. So what I could do by that is like, look, okay, the X value of my hero is 2. The X value of my villain is 0. So if the X value of the hero is bigger than the villain, let's see what we can do here. If we do some logic in here, what we want to do is we want to compare, so let me put this in the forever. I want to always be checking. I'm going to get rid of this. I don't think I need that. And I even want to zoom out a little bit here. So what I want to do is find the X value. So let's go into my game. I want to find the X value of my hero. I want to find the X value of my villain. And I want to compare the two. So we can use comparisons. I think we can go into logic here. And we look at this one, right? Comparison. So what we want to do is compare the hero's X and the villain's X. And let's see what should we do here? Okay, so if the X value of the hero is less than the X value of the villain, that means that the villain is further to the right. And so what I want to do is lower the villain's X value, right? Because if the hero's value is lower than the villain's, then we need to lower the villain's X value. That's one way we can do this. So let's go into game, and I'm going to do change X. Let's put that in here. We want to go not into sprite. That's going to mess us up. We want to change the villain's X by -1. If the villain's X is 4 and the hero's is 0, we want to decrease the villain's X value. On the other hand, if this is not true, so we can add an else statement in here. If this is not true, if the villain's X value is less than the hero's, then we want to change the villain's X value by 1. And we can see this in action right away. You see it's kind of jumping back and forth like crazy here because, well, maybe you can think to yourself, why is that happening? Why is it going crazy jumping back and forth here? Let me give you a second to think about that. You can pause the video if you want. If you unpaused, what's happening here is that we're constantly checking the villain versus the hero, and the villain's X value, if it's not greater than the hero's, then we're going to change X by -1. So what's happening is, like, if we haven't coded for if they're the exact same value. So it's like getting to be the exact same value, and then it's continuing to kind of move, and then it's kind of switching back and switching back and switching back, because we haven't really coded for if the value is actually the same. So let's do this. I'm going to put this, I can duplicate this, and I could do something, and there's a lot of different ways I could do this. I could just say equals. If it's equals, I'm just going to leave this blank. That's not the greatest coding. So if the hero's X value is less than the villain's, move left. If it's the same, we kind of just left it blank, and then otherwise, we'll change the X by 1. So now you can see that our villain, see if we can stop. You see now that our villain is, so fast, right? It's going popping right from there. But the villain is no longer. It's like kind of tracking our hero. And so I can do another thing. If I duplicate this entire thing, I need to do the same thing for the Y value, right? And compare the Y value of our villain with the Y value of the hero. So let's take a look down here. If the heroes, let's just go in here and change some stuff. We're going to look at the Y values for all this stuff. Y, 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 Y. We'll see if that's about, I think that should be about the same thing, right? If the hero's Y value is less than the villain's, yeah, then we should just decrease the Y value by 1. Now as we restart this, we can see like, almost can't even see the dot moving. And you can think about, okay, well, what's going on here? Why is the dot suddenly kind of disappearing like that? Give you a second to think and pause it. Yeah, and so what's going on here is that the problem is that we don't have any pauses in here. And so it's just going really, really, really fast. So if we just put a little, let's even put like 500 in here. It's still going really fast, huh? Yeah, still, even 500 is not having a big effect. I wonder why it's not having a giant effect. It should be at least somewhat slow. Yeah, that's better. We can see the hero actually has a chance now. But we can see the villain's going to chase after him no matter what. Ah! Okay, and so actually, so now we have, and now look, the hero's stuck on there. Or the villain's stuck on there. Let's go fast. It's kind of hard to control when you have such limited controls, but it is what it is. So there's a lot of stuff you could do in there. Yeah. Okay, so that's one thing that we could do. Another thing, so we've built some basic AI, right, where the kind of like the enemy is going to try and track our hero, and we could do something like in our game where, you know, if the villain ever meets the hero, we could do something like if they end up touching each other, then we could be game over. We've done this in a different one. Let's see. I think our best thing to do is we could do a little if state. Oh, not that. Don't do that. We're going to check to see if this sprite is touching. We can do something like if the hero is touching the villain, then we could do like game over. Okay. So if the hero is touching the villain, then we're going to do game over. So let's see how this game works now. Gotta move. No. Ah, game over. So it's kind of hard with the controls like this. But I mean, it's a game. It could work. I think there's some things that we could do to make this a little bit better. But that's a good place to maybe start with. And hopefully what we got out of that was showing some AI, having a hero, having a villain, having stuff kind of moving on its own. And I hope that's what you got out of it.